Julia was revolutionary, and we wanted to kind of shake things up at the beginning and just say, look, she's not just a funny, quaint, quirky character here. She's somebody who really had a, just kind of a Jimi Hendrix-like, oh wow, impact on the world.
I'm here in Boston virtually at GBH. How much did you know about public television and GBH before you started the film?
Well, I am a New Englander. So, I grew up watching Channel 2, WGBH, and, certainly saw Julia in the 1960s. Julia stood out on public television for being just so profoundly entertaining. When I got older and went into the business, I realized what a foundational role GBH plays in the PBS universe. And Julia kicked that off.
Julie, did you watch The French Chef?
Yes, I absolutely remember watching it. I thought of this as this very warm, comforting, loving, zany maternal figure, and like that hanging out in her kitchen would be nice. It really wasn't about learning the recipes. That didn't occur to me at that age.
You really followed Julie's footsteps around the world for this. I, on a smaller scale, have had the opportunity to do that a bit with our show, Weekends with Yankee, which is a New England travel show. Was there a favorite part of filming, in her footsteps that really stuck out to you?
Yeah, we spent about a week in France 2 years ago. It was, first of all, we're in Paris, it's in October, it's so beautiful, and, we're seeing the apartment where Julia lived, and then going to Rouen and to La Couronne, and to watching the chef there make the sole meunière. It was, incredible.
When Julia moved to France and sort of dove in to the French culture and food, she was just completely enchanted by that experience, which happily overlapped with her honeymoon years with Paul. And I think we felt a little that sense of enchantment, especially like when you're eating just the right thing, or even actually just, there's a fairly close-up scene in the film where you're seeing the sole meunière being prepared. Yeah. And we were in that kitchen and just like that, but audiences either gasp or laugh when they see the amount of butter that is being poured on top of that one slice of fish. And we really felt that. It's just this is it's just a fish, but it's magic.
Another thing that struck me in the documentary is age and women of age. I think Julia started her career in her 50s, and in this film you see this parade of older women at ages that are not as often represented in film and television. And they look beautiful and they look dignified. Everyone was lit beautifully. I just wondered if that was an intentional choice.
The answer is yes, obviously. Yes. We wanted people who could bring Julia to life, who really understood Julia.
Betsy and I both came from the network commercial television world, where the unspoken and sometimes spoken rule is don't put anyone over 50, particularly a woman over 50, on camera. I think the biggest revelation for us moving into the documentary world was getting into having the opportunity to start interviewing people in their 80s and 90s, of which there are actually quite a number in our film, many of the main characters, and seeing what spectacular interviews that demographic make.
Well, what were some of the harder things to leave out of the film?
There's a wonderful cake that she makes, that collapses. That's a great moment, remember? Yeah. She brings it, here it is. And sometimes, it doesn't quite hold. And then you just watch it kind of go down. And,
we
as an example.
Did that dish. Yeah. The apple charlotte.
Apple charlotte. It's a great clip.
So for our digital series, You and Julia at Home, I've been cooking a lot of Julia's recipes. Have you been inspired to get in the kitchen and do some French cooking?
Both Julie and I like to cook, but I think we upped our cooking quite a bit. And Julie even, tried out the pear tart.
And I came home from the day with a big Ziploc bag full of pears in poached wine that my husband and I ate for days with vanilla ice cream on it. Oh my God, there's nothing like a pear poached in red wine.